So today we are diving into an epic showdown between two budget gaming smartphones that are making waves in the smartphone world at the moment. So in one corner we're having the Tecno Pova 6 Neo at 235,145 naira. And at the other hand, we are having the Nubia Neo 2 5G at 255,906 naira. Now, both of these devices are punching above their weight class, but which one will come out at the top? Let's find out. Now, in one corner, we got the Tecno Pova 6 Neo flexing a 6.78-inch LCD display, is rocking a smooth 120Hz refresh rate that will make your scrolling silky and gaming buttery. But hold up, because the Nubia Neo 2 5G is also bringing some serious screen game. Like, we are looking at 6.72-inch Full HD LCD display, that's 2400 by 1080p pixels of crisp, clear visuals, and also it's also sporting a sweet 120Hz refresh rate. Now remember, at the price point, getting a 120Hz Full HD display is pretty impressive. Both Tecno and Nubia are bringing some serious value to the table here. Now, the Tecno Pova 6 Neo is what we in the business call an absolute unit. Like, this chunky device is packing a massive 7000 mAh battery, making it almost as heavy as the premium Samsung S24 Ultra. We are talking about 226 grams of pure smartphone muscle here. Like, it got this cyberpunk inspired back panel that will turn your head even if it doesn't actually light up. Now, on the other hand, we've got the Nubia Neo 2 5G weighing in at about 208 grams. Now, that's still hefty, but it's shedding about 18 grams compared to the Pova 6 Neo. But here's where the Nubia Neo flexes his muscle. It's got these built-in shoulder triggers that will make mobile gamers weak at their knees. But we'll talk more about that later. Now, here's where things get spicy. The Pova 6 Neo is powered by the MediaTek Helio G99 processor, which is becoming a fan favorite in the budget segment. It's paired with 8GB of RAM and either 128GB or 256GB of storage. Now, the Nubia Neo 2 5G, however, is rocking the Unisoc T820 chipset. It's also got 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. Now, both phones can handle everyday tasks with ease. But when it comes to gaming, things get interesting. Like, the Pova 6 Neo can run most games at medium settings without breaking a sweat, but the Nubia Neo 2 5G, on the other hand, showed some impressive results. Like, it managed to run Genshin Impact at the highest setting at 26 to 30 FPS, like, which is no small feat for a budget device. Now, speaking of gaming, those shoulder triggers on the Nubia Neo are a game changer. Like, yeah, pun absolutely intended. See, they are like having extra buttons on the game controller. Now, the game space feature of the Nubia Neo is packed with customization options, including performance boosting, accidental touch protection, and even bypass charging for those marathon gaming sessions. Now, the Pova 6 Neo also has its own game feature that includes all those customization and even bypass charging. But also, Tecno claims that it has this 4D vibration sense for an immersive experience. So the Tecno Pova 6 Neo comes in swinging with a beefy 108 megapixel main camera on the back. Now, that's a lot of megapixels for a budget phone, but remember, megapixels aren't everything. Now, on the selfie front, it's packing a modest 8 megapixel shooter. Not exactly Instagram influencer territory, but it will get the job done for your video calls and quick selfies. The Nubia Neo 2 5G is bringing in some interesting hardware to the table. We've got a 15 megapixel main camera with an f1.8 aperture. Now, that's a solid setup that should capture some nice detail and perform decently in low light. Now, they've also thrown in a 2 megapixel depth sensor. But here's where the Nubia pulls ahead: the selfie game. It's rocking a 16 megapixel front-facing camera, which is double the resolution of the Pova 6 Neo. But you have to keep it in mind that you should not expect the same quality as those of flagship phones, right? Now, both phones are running Android 14, but with their own skin. I mean, we have the Tecno Pova running the iOS 14, which has come a long way in bloatware reduction and even added more features. Now, the Nubia Neo 2 5G is running MyOS 13, which seems to be quite gaming focused with its game space feature. So let's talk about battery. In the red corner, we have the Technopova 6 Neo still reigning supreme with its monstrous 7000 mAh battery. This bad boy is practically begging you to try and kill it in a day. But wait, see, we have the Nubia Neo 2 5G, which is packing some serious heat too, like it's also rocking a 6000 mAh battery. Now, both of these phones are absolute endurance champions. We are talking multiple days of use for average users and probably a full day even for the hardcore mobile gamers out there. Now let's talk charging. Both phones are coming in hot with 33 watts of fast charge. This means you are not going to be tethered to the wall for ages even when you do eventually need to juice up. They both support bypass charging feature. Like, this nifty trick allows the phone to power itself directly from the charger during intense gaming sessions. Now, both of these phones are still offering incredible value for their price point. We are talking high refresh rate displays of 120Hz, decent processing power, and feature-packed software at under $200. Now, if every naira or if every penny counts, the Pova 6 Neo might be your best bet, but if you stretch your budget a bit, the Nubia Neo 2 5G could be worth the extra investment. Now, another thing I forgot to point out is that the Technopova Neo doesn't support 5G, unlike the Nubia Neo 2, which supports 5G. Now remember, the best phone is the one that fits your needs and budget. Don't let anyone to shame you for choosing a budget device. These phones prove you can get a lot of bang for your buck in 2024. Now, so which one are you leaning towards? Drop a comment below and let me know. And hey, if you found this comparison helpful, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe for more budget phone face-off like this. I am Eugene and this is Brand Deluxe.